day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright, it made me swoon. Our love is like a...
Well, hello there, how are you? Today I've already prepped my face with the Lievre Blanc shaving oil. My razor is going to be this Gillette 3-piece, non-adjustable. It's a ball tip or ball end razor, the sort of brass colored or brass plated variety. And on there you might be able to see where it still says Gillette on there, barely. And my soap is going to be this. It is the Savon Yulay de Annecy, if I'm pronouncing that right. It's a shaving soap. It comes in a bar in this kind of package. And I've already attempted to lather that anyway in the Van Yulay shaving bowl using this old, well, let me see if I can show you the label here. It's an old ever-ready nylon brush. Got a little soapy there, and it's been re-knotted by Tim Abernathy. He has brushes for sale on eBay, and I've attempted to make a lather here. It's re-knotted, by the way, this brush with a synthetic knot. So let me try to get a lather started on my face. Hope it translates to my face as well as it did to the bowl here, and I hope you're all doing well out there. Oops. I barely put any water in this, but it sure, oh boy, I'm flinging soap and lather and water everywhere. If this doesn't translate to my face well, I'll do some re-lathering or some more of this between passes. Because the first time I used this soap, I didn't have such a thin lather as I'm getting right here. But let me see. Let me see what I can do here. I hadn't bowl lathered much in a while. Wow. Yeah, I only put maybe a teaspoon full of water in this, and I got all kinds of lather, but it might dissipate or do whatnot here. Crazy. Just crazy. But that's going to have to do for the first pass. I can't sit here and lather all day. Not my best lather, but let's see how... I recall that this soap performed okay the first time, and I'm probably going to do something to it between passes here when I step off camera and cut away and cut back. So anyway, here I go. Let me wet the razor there a little bit, and wow, I'll get started with the first pass with the grain. Crazy. But I did, the maintenance man solved our plumbing problem, minor plumbing problem in my new bathroom here. So the only thing you might hear is the heat kicking on. You shouldn't hear a bunch of water running. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, in all this madness, the blade I'm using on its second use is one of these Treet New Steel blades. That's what the tuck those come in looks like. And here I go again. Oh, it's been a crazy week anyway. Holidays are coming up, and I'm not doing much for the holiday proper because in a way I already had my holiday a few days ago. And I had a lot of things to talk about. I wonder if I can remember any of them. Huh. Had somebody over and showed, a lady I know, showed her my shave done. She was actually impressed by that. I figured most people it would bore to death, but she really liked it. Thought it was educational and said it shows that I'm a sensitive, creative person. I hope that's true. Okay, I was kind of shaving over and over the same places there, but let's see here. Only the second use on this blade, so it shouldn't be dull. I remember these blades being kind of on the sharp side. I thought they sacrificed some sharpness for smoothness the first time I used them. Other than my, other than the closet where I keep most of my shaving stuff and the bathroom, perhaps, I have a pretty bare apartment still. I haven't gone to get my furniture and stuff yet. And it's kind of the middle of the night here. My schedule's really screwy. Okay. Well, so far, even though due to user error, evidently, I got a thin lather for this first pass, so far it's comfortable. Very lightly scented soap. I'll show you this package again. Very lightly scented, kind of a lemony, and I believe it's supposed to have a wheatgrass scent. It says with donkey milk, organic shaving soap, handmade in France, it says there. Ooh, there it is. And yeah, kind of a lemony and I think a wheatgrass scent it's supposed to have. And a scent strength of only about 1 out of 5, or maybe 1.5 out of 5, 2 out of 10, something like that. A mildly, excuse me, I gotta be careful here, a mildly scented soap. Kind of refreshing though. I'm enjoying the scent on this soap far more than I did the first time or two I used it. I guess this is about my third time using this soap. Oh, and another thing, my cheese grater, my kind of one of those Dollar Tree, dollar store, just a cheese grater that I usually grate the soap with. I don't have that here right now, so I used a knife and tried to cut it up into smaller bits, but a grater, a cheese grater, makes cutting up a bar of soap like that, or any hard soap, so much easier, and makes it lather easier, in my opinion. There's something about doing that. Something about doing it that way, I should say. Well, let me pop back in. I'm going to relather the whole thing here, relather in the bowl, and try to get a better lather in my face for that second pass, and that's where I'll be going across the grain. Well, I kind of got the same result, relathering and everything, so it's kind of an odd, inconsistent lather I got going. And it might be this brush. Now, I'm not complaining about this brush. This brush is good with a lot of soaps. It might not be good with bowl lathering or with this particular soap. It seems like, well, it's for a synthetic brush, pretty stiff bristles and a good backbone. It's kind of good, I guess, for breaking down the little bits of soap I got in the bowl there. And it's a good bowl, and it makes a really big lather, but I don't remember the lather dissipating like this, so when I tried to transfer it to my face, well, anyway, I'm still getting a comfortable shave out of this. It's better than, well, it's better than using contemporary Williams mug soap, unless you use that mug soap perhaps with a scuttle and some very hot water, but that's another story. I'm going to go across the grain now. I don't know. Yeah, anytime I decide to record something on video, that's when things seem to go wrong. And I do that, I try to do that once a week. Usually on Monday night, but it's very early Monday morning here. So instead of this video posting very early on Tuesday, it may post sometime fairly early still on Monday. I don't know. Sometimes I guess you just gotta laugh at things. Let's see what else is going on this week. Everything and nothing. I'm kind of in a hurry up and wait holding pattern for a lot of things right now. For getting my furniture back from my aborted move to another town, and let's see what else. I've still been living pretty well considering I'm low income, in case anyone wants to know. And then you might say, well, how do you rate all this fancy shaving stuff you sometimes show on your channel, or on a shave of the day or something? All my disposable income seems to go to this hobby. Excuse me. I was just reminded of something by something I said. I was talking about shave of the day, which I usually put on Facebook. Well, Facebook has these bots or whatever it is that check to see if you're doing something wrong. And apparently, if you post the same thing to more than 10 groups, and I'm in at least 30 some odd shaving groups, but if you post to more than 10 groups, say in so many hours or over a day's period of time, 24 hours or whatever, they think you're spamming the groups or something. And this is my third time that I've been put in Facebook purgatory. So if you don't see my shaves of the day on Facebook for a while, that's the reason why. It's because I can't. I'm banned, or so to speak, banned from doing that, not from Facebook itself, until sometime in March of 2020. So, nutty. I could see Facebook, putting you in purgatory for saying something mean or whatever, but I don't know. For posting shaves of the day in a bunch of different shave of the day type shaving pages, I don't know. I'm a little off kilter once again. I guess an argument could be made that I'm always off kilter, but my schedule's a little screwed up. When I was living with this lady in that other town, even though ultimately we couldn't get along, I kind of adapted more to her schedule and was more of a day person. And also, somewhat when I was living with Dave, I was staying in his apartment until an apartment opened for me, and I became somewhat more of a day person then, or at least adapted to his schedule. Well, he actually works at night too, so sometimes he works during the day, mostly he works at night, but my schedule still wasn't as screwy as it is right now. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll get back on somewhat of a normal schedule, or at least a more even keel, what passes as normal for me. Let me see if I can do any better for a third pass. I'm going to lather up for that and I'll be right back, and then we'll go against the grain. Well, I lathered and lathered and lathered, and this is what I got. So, I'm not sure. I think there's still some user error involved. Now, I didn't say this was the greatest soap in the world. And I guess on this shave, I'm getting dissipation and, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it because so far, believe it or not, a comfortable shave anyway. So, pass number 3, against the grain, I'll start on my neck this time. It was kind of an inexpensive soap, $7 for a bar of it, and postage paid, if I recall correctly. I still think on this shave I'm doing something wrong, because the lather on this soap is not turning out the way I would like. Oh, another thing. Last week I said I keep it warm in here, or at least I have been, for a couple of different reasons. My health, my diabetes makes me cold all the time. And, also because until my furniture gets here, I'm sleeping on a big cushion on the floor in my bedroom. But I said I was keeping it at 87 Fahrenheit in here. Not that hot. It's 77 Fahrenheit in here. A little warm, because it should be down around 72, maybe at most. And I think that would be enough for me if I didn't have to sleep almost on the floor. So until I get my bed here, I know I'm going to keep it at least a little bit warmer than I normally would. I mean, I get cold anyway, but so yeah, I think it was last week I said, and I usually catch these mistakes and put a little disclaimer down below somewhere, but last week I was in kind of a hurry and I didn't watch the video per se before editing it. I just went to all the places that needed a transition of some kind, put those in, put the titles on, put the ending on, and hoped I didn't make any mistakes. Well, that was the one major mistake regarding information of any kind. Not that it's that important to anybody. It's not going to affect your shave any how warm I keep it in my place here. One of those things. Yeah. I'm just looking at the lather here. I was looking in the monitor here, so to speak. And all things being equal, I'm planning on putting a new opening on the video here. I hope you like that. I recorded a couple of new openings now that I'm back in this neck of the woods, if not back in my exact same old place. It's a mirror image of the place I was in. Well, twist this over and, well, leather is, well, not too dry, I guess. It's just, this soap, I'm trying to remember, did it always behave this strangely? Seemed like the first time I used it, it wasn't so bad. And it's still not so bad that I could say I don't recommend it. I don't review products, really. I just shave with what I like to shave with, but I thought I would try this. For the price, it sounded nice. Excuse me. It has goat's milk in it. I'm still working on some nice surprises for this channel, but being that it's the holiday season, that might be slowing some things down. I'll explain in another video what I mean by that, but excuse me. Or actually, I guess it's no big secret. I'm working with a couple of vendors to try to get a shaving soap and a shaving brush for this channel and for my Facebook group. But things are a little slow for me because they're so busy probably working the holiday season, selling their products and making their products. Because these are vendors that make their own products. Only second use on this blade, and I'm wondering if it's not like dull already. I could have made a mistake and forgot to record one of the shaves with this blade, but I'm sure it's on no more than its third use in the worst case scenario, and I don't know. Well, anyway, I'll pop right back, and I'll be freshly lathered under the chin and on the neck for pickups. I was at the dollar store not too long ago, and I had a few bucks on me. I should have bought another cheese grater, because even a bad soap, or I won't say a bad soap, even a soap that's not the best in the West, say an inexpensive soap, if I can grate it with a cheese grater, it's so much easier to lather in a bowl. That is to say, if it's the kind of soap like this that doesn't come in a puck, or it doesn't come in a tub or a tin that you can use to lather it in. Well, that's not too bad right there. I wish this whole shave had been like this. And I've also noticed sometimes when I'm having a bad lather, it'll still lather better in this area than it will on my face. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I'm sure that's good enough lather there. And then more of the bubbles have dissipated from this, and I'm getting more of the cream. Yeah, I need to break down and buy a cheese grater that only costs a whole $1. Ooh. Okay, here I go. Oh, and by the way, what time is it, kids? It's pickup time. Yay, it's pickup time. The crazy clock with the spinning hands means it's pickup time, kids. And here we go. Somehow that didn't sound right to me. Reminds me of a joke I made, a bad joke. I'll explain what I mean in a second here. I used to do stand-up comedy, and sometimes back in the days when I did it, sometimes the more uncomfortable subject you could get people to laugh about, the better. And nowadays everyone's so sensitive, and sometimes with good reason, and sometimes maybe not. But yeah, I don't know. But my joke, and I think I had another routine stolen by some local radio guys where I used to live, because I later heard that same routine used on the radio. Or it could have been what they call parallel development. The same joke gets thought up by more than one person. But I don't know. No, I was going to say, when I said it's pickup time, kids, that reminded me of something. First, it reminded me of those icky true crime shows and scenarios you'll see on 60 Minutes or some program like that, Dateline or something. But being that, there's been times, where a guy my age, a person our age, us older folks, we didn't grow up with this technology, so we might have some trouble finding something or doing something with our smartphone. And if we got a little kid around and he says, "Give me that," or she says, "Give me that," and they go, "There you are," and your smartphone's fixed, or they find whatever you're looking for on there. So if you ever see me driving around in a rusty old van trying to lure kids in, it's not because I'm a pervert, it's because I need tech support. Excuse me. It's a rather strange world in which we live anyway. Yeah, I need tech support. Sometimes. Sometimes not. If an app or some function on a smartphone or tablet or what have you is more intuitive or more user-friendly, then I don't have a problem. But there are times when I need tech support. And I swear somebody that grew up with the technology can help me quicker than an IT guy, for example. Okay. Oddly enough, one thing the soap did is my face feels nice and smooth. And I gotta quit talking, and I'll come back, I'll rinse everything off, including my face, and then we'll see Mr. Towel. Here's our good friend Mr. Towel, ladies and gentlemen. So, I don't know, we'll see how the rest of this goes here. Let me put Mr. Towel back here in the green room, or just go backstage, Mr. Towel. Okay, and I'll start a brief recap, then I'll put the finishing touches on the shave here. Before I started, I prepped my face with the Lievre Blanc shaving oil. My razor has been this 3-piece Gillette vintage ball end or ball tip razor, 3-piece non-adjustable. My blade on its second use, and a little bit disappointing, at least on this shave, was a Treet New Steel blade. There's the tuck those come in. Okay, my soap has been this Savon shaving soap, and my brush was this, again, another thing that usually treats me well. It's a vintage Ever Ready nylon, re-knotted with a nice synthetic knot by Timothy Abernathy, who has brushes on eBay for sale. Let's see, let me dump the excess water out of this. I lathered in the Yulay shaving bowl, and I still got like a few little pieces of soap in there that didn't get dissolved or what have you. But normally, again, another piece of equipment, a thing that usually treats me very well. This is just a very odd shave so far. Have I forgotten anything? I don't think so. So let me reach over here and get one of these Everyman Jack facial wipes. I'm going to wipe my face down with that, because these have some witch hazel in them, among other nice ingredients. And let's see, I'll just go ahead and get this started. I know I'm probably running over time terribly, so I might have to edit a lot of things out of this video, but we'll see how it goes. I can think of a few things I should edit out. Some things I said that might have been in bad taste. All things, well, depending on what you consider bad taste. Okay, and let's see. I guess I'll go ahead and apply some of the Figaro. This is the kind from Hungary, Figaro aftershave, which I think, among other things, I think it has what to my nose is a lemony scent, but I think somebody told me there's peppermint in there too. There's some alcohol in that. I'm feeling some burn, but that's okay. I can live with that. Very nice. And finally, I'm going to finish today by putting on the Proraso, the blue balm. So that's it. I gotta go. I'm running way over time. Thank you for watching. Be back next week, I hope. Peace.